As of today, 62 staff members have given notice of retirement, which translates into more than 1,285 years of school district service and dedication to students in this community. Louisa spent the last 22 of her 35 years in education with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. She is retiring as the Director of Federal Programs. Louise shares it was difficult to pinpoint a favorite memory because there have been so many wonderful ones through the years. From her first experience after moving to Fairbanks of volunteering to read to students during their lunch period at University Park, to substituting in every school in the district, to teaching 5th grade at Taylor Elementary School on Eielson Air Force Base, to doing administrative internships at North Pole Middle and Pearl Creek Elementary, to stepping in as the acting principal at North Pole Elementary, to serving as the principal at Weller Elementary, and finally, as the Director of Federal Programs. That's quite a progression. Louise states her experiences have been varied and exciting. She will always cherish the time spent with the fantastic teachers and colleagues she has worked with and the remarkable administrators who have mentored her. Louise said that each new position in the district provided her opportunities for learning, growth, leadership, but most of all, lifelong friendships. Thank you, Louise, for your many years of service and dedication to the students and families of the school district. May your retirement provide you with many more opportunities, journeys, and friendships, and congratulations on your retirement. Rosita has worked in education for 31 and a half years, with the last 23 and a half years for this district. Over the years, she has served as a resource teacher at Wood River, Ann Ween, and Howard Luke schools. She served as the assistant principal at North Pole High School and interim principal at Salcha Elementary prior to becoming the principal at North Pole Elementary, where she currently works. Rosita states she has many fine memories from the district. She remembers how hard it was initially to get a job in the district and how blessed she felt when someone finally went out on maternity leave, freeing up a position so she could be hired. Thank heaven for births. Children will always have a very special place in Rosita's heart. They have kept her entertained for many years with the amazing things they do and say. Rosita shares she is very proud to have had the pleasure of serving alongside many fine professionals in the school district. Rosita, thank you for your service to the district. We hope your retirement is filled with blessings and many, many more special memories, and congratulations. Leslie is retiring as principal of Ann Ween Elementary School, where she has served students and families for the past 14 years. Leslie started her career with the school district in 1978 as a speech-language pathologist. After serving 17 years in speech, Leslie moved to University Park Elementary School as a first-grade teacher and taught there for 5 years before becoming the principal at Ann Ween. Through the 36-plus years Leslie has worked in the school district, she has served at a number of schools, outlasting some of the buildings themselves: Nordale, Aurora, Fort Wainwright, Chena, McKinley, Pearl Creek, University Park, Lathrop, North Pole Middle, Tickassook Brown, and Ann Ween. It might have been easier to list the schools Leslie hasn't worked in. Leslie wholeheartedly feels she has been blessed to be part of the Fairbanks North Star School District for most of her career. She said the district has always been dedicated to excellence, and she feels privileged to be part of this organization. Leslie said there were so many wonderful memories she could share, but she would rather take the opportunity to say thank you. Leslie extends a thank you to the teachers, staff, students, and parents of Ann Ween Elementary for what she calls 14 incredible years. It is an outstanding school. Leslie would like to say thank you to her fellow administrators who are second to none. Their dedication to the profession is exemplary, and she will always treasure the relationships she has been part of over the years. Finally, Leslie extends her thanks to the district office and school board for the support she has received through the years. They truly make a difference for children in our community and every day. Leslie, let us take this opportunity to thank you for a lifetime of making a difference in our community. This district and the Ann Ween community are the ones who have been blessed with your leadership and selflessness. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. Lori began her career in education 30 years ago. She worked for 10 years as a Spanish teacher for UAF before completing her student teaching at Lathrop High School. She went on to teach Spanish at Ryan, Tanana, and Pearl Creek, and gifted and talented at Denali and Ann Ween elementary schools, prior to moving to West Valley, where she presently serves as a Spanish teacher. She has been with the school district for 17 years. Lori wanted to start out by sharing her motto, to finish strong and not count the days. She loves teaching and can't think of a better career. She feels so fortunate to have chosen the career of being a teacher. Lori has many, many fond memories. She recalled a recent time when all her students were required to present a story they had written in Spanish to the class. She knows every student gets some butterflies, but with encouragement and coaching, they all usually come through with flying colors. This year, she had 2 very reluctant students who decided not to present. Another student was so nervous she ended up in the nurse's office. But one of her students, a young, physically challenged student, later made it to class in her walker. When she asked Lori if she could sit down for her presentation, Lori encouraged her to stand using her walker. She rose to the occasion and in the process inspired her 2 reluctant classmates to also present. The student was later awarded a certificate and T-shirt by the school's administration for her courage and determination. Lori said the very motivated young girl was so proud of herself, and she believes the 2 students the girl inspired have also grown tremendously since that moment. Lori always tries to encourage her students to help one another in the learning process. This young girl stepped up, and she is an inspiration to all. Lori says muchas gracias to her and to all her students, colleagues, administrators, parents, and school board members for this very wonderful and memorable journey. She adds, excelente, fantástico, increíble, terrifico y más. Excellent, fantastic, incredible, terrific. And I don't know if I butchered that, but Lori, muchas gracias to you for many years of dedication to the students in our district and community, and for helping to inspire students beyond their borders. Disfrute de su retiro, or in English, enjoy your retirement. Margaret has dedicated most of her life to the school district and students of our community for 29 of the 34 years she has worked in education. During her tenure with the district, she has worked as an art teacher at Ryan Middle School, North Pole Middle School, North Pole High School, and most recently Lathrop High School, where she currently teaches art and serves as the Fine Arts Department Chair. Margaret vividly recalls the day she had an interview with the school district. She was working as a jeweler in downtown Fairbanks and had been crossing the days off her calendar for weeks. She was so excited about the interview that she arrived an hour early for it. When she checked in at the personnel office, they could not find her name on the appointment schedule. But she was adamant she had an appointment. Then the receptionist gave her a funny look and said, "Wait a minute," and proceeded to ask Margaret her name. When Margaret told the receptionist her name was Margaret Donay, the receptionist replied, "Oh, you were the no-show from yesterday." Margaret said she argued, insisting to the receptionist, "My appointment is today, June 12th. Boy, was Margaret surprised when the receptionist pointed to the calendar on the wall and showed her it was June 13th. She'd missed her appointment. Margaret had to reschedule and couldn't get another appointment for more than a month. She left completely baffled and certain she had blown any chance she had of being hired in the district. When Margaret got back to her desk at the jewelry store, she looked at the calendar she had been marking and realized it was from the year before. But all's well that ends well. 6 weeks later, Margaret was finally able to have her interview, and the rest, as they say, is history. Margaret would like to thank the district for giving her a second chance. She says time has gone so quickly and she has enjoyed every minute of it. Margaret, thank you for your dedication to the students of our district and the arts in our community. May you enjoy your well-deserved retirement so much that you never have to answer to a calendar again. And congratulations on your retirement, and actually you are one of our door prize winners, so you may choose one of the flowers.
Kathy is a counselor at North Pole High School. She will be retiring in May after 31 years with the school district. Kathy started her career in education at the Elk Rapids Senior High School in Elk Rapids, Michigan, prior to starting in the district in 1981. Kathy has also worked at North Pole Middle School as a counselor and language arts teacher. As is often the case, Kathy said she has so many wonderful memories of her time in the school district, but one favorite she recalls was when North Pole High School won the state football championship. There was so much excitement generated throughout the school, it was contagious. Students and staff who weren't even football fans got caught up in the excitement. The camaraderie in the school was very special, and it felt like everyone was involved in some way. Kathy thought it was wonderful to see the students and the staff all pulling together for a common goal. Kathy, thank you for your contributions and guidance to the students and families of North Pole High School and the North Pole community for the past 31 years. We hope your retirement generates much excitement and happiness for you. Congratulations. Nancy is a general music teacher currently working at Badger Road Elementary School. She has spent the last 31 years of a 36-year career in education with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. Previously, Nancy has worked at Aurora, Birch, and Fort Wainwright Elementary Schools before settling in Badger Road. Nancy said her favorite memories have been watching so many students get the opportunity to share their music with others through talent shows, concerts, musicals, solo and ensemble, all state music and with each other. One specific memory Nancy recalls was when she had a student who didn't seem to talk much. In fact, he was pretty shy, introverted, but boy, when he got on stage, watch out. He could do an Elvis Presley impersonation, Viva Las Vegas. Nancy, thank you for your many years of service and sharing your love of music with so many children through the years. Congratulations on your retirement, and may the years ahead be filled with happiness and harmony. Denise is a first grade teacher at Hunter Elementary School. She will be retiring in May after 22 years with the school district. Her career in education reaches back to 1974 when she worked at Denali in the Slingerland program. Previously to be hired as a teacher in 1991, Denise worked as a teacher's aide at University Park Elementary, as well as a substitute teacher throughout the district. Denise shares her favorite memory has been the Thanksgiving feast she holds in her class each year. The students study the Pilgrims and Native Americans each November, and the curriculum culminates with a class Thanksgiving dinner. The kids dress up as Pilgrims and Native Americans. It is a very festive time, and fun is had by all. Denise, thank you for your many years of teaching and for making learning fun and interactive for students. We hope your retirement is filled with many more opportunities for fun and festivities. Congratulations.
John is retiring from the school district as the assistant principal at Ben Eielson Junior-Senior High School, where he served for the past 7 years. John began his career with the school district in 1990 as a science teacher at Lathrop High School. In 1995, he became a counselor at the school until 2006, when he accepted his current position at Ben Eielson. John has several wonderful memories spanning his 23 years with the school district. He recalls one special memory in 1992 when he was the assistant varsity girls basketball coach at Lathrop High School, and the team won the state tournament in Sitka that year. Between 2000 and 2006, some of his favorite memories are centered around the Lathrop Counselors' annual staff breakfast. Each year, the Lathrop counselors would make breakfast burritos for the entire staff. John always enjoyed working together in the kitchen to serve others. One memory that really stands out for John in 2012 was when he had the honor of introducing the Ben Eielson State Football Champions to a packed gym of cheering students and parents. John, thank you for your dedication to serving students, parents, and staff over the past 23 years. Enjoy your retirement, and if you find yourself with any extra time, I understand school board members really love breakfast burritos, so we would love that on early morning meetings. Kathy started with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District in 1983. Over the course of 30 years, she has seen the district grow and develop. Kathy was originally hired as an assistant accounting clerk, and since that time has worked in purchasing, accounts payable, and currently administrative services, where she is the district's budget specialist. When asked to describe a favorite memory, Kathy could not point to one particular memory that stood out, but rather several wonderful memories, as well as the many great people who have come and gone over the years. She has many fond memories from when the district office operated out of Old Main, like planting flowers with Sunshine members on the front lawn, the annual building-wide wiffle ball game, and the exercise classes after work in the gym. Kathy certainly couldn't forget the big move the central office staff made from Old Main to our current offices here on Fifth Avenue. Watching the renovation of this building as the central office staff prepared to move, and oh yes, there was packing of boxes and boxes and more boxes. And of course, once the move was made, the unpacking of those same boxes and more boxes. While it was a challenge to continue the day-to-day business of the central office during the move, it was still fun as everyone pitched in and worked hard to get settled into their new offices. Kathy will also always remember the sunshine gatherings during lunch and the Christmas sing-alongs. But most of all, it is the people she has worked with over the years that have meant the most to her, and in the end, these are her favorite memories. Thank you, Kathy, for your service to the district and support of school and education for the past 30 years. Enjoy your well-earned retirement, and hopefully it will not be filled with too many more episodes of packing and unpacking boxes. Congratulations. Allison has dedicated 35 years of her life to children and their education, with almost 30 years with our school district. As a speech-language pathologist, she began her career in Tucson, Arizona before moving to Fairbanks. After many years of helping children in speech, Allison moved to the regular classroom, teaching in grades 4th, 5th, and 6th, and is currently a 6th grade teacher at Nordale Elementary School. Allison has many wonderful memories, too many to share in one evening. In reminiscing through the years, one of the things she loves the most is visiting with former students who are now grown and enjoying their lives. Many have told her how she had an impact on their choices and decisions. Allison said it was so satisfying to know her reach extends beyond the classroom. Allison, thank you for connecting with students and continuing to touch their lives long after they have left your classroom. The best of luck in your retirement.
Carol is a lifelong teacher. She has taught for 38 years throughout the country: Indiana, Georgia, Ohio, Texas, and Kansas, before heading to Alaska, where she taught in Willow before coming to Fairbanks. She is retiring with 13 years of service in the district, having worked at Badger Elementary and LD Resource, 4th grade, and currently in kindergarten. When asked to share a memory, Carol said she has really enjoyed all the precious kidisms she has heard over the years. She shared one recent encounter. Recently, as Carol walked back into her classroom after lunch, she was observing her students while absent-mindedly scratching her arm. Little 5-year-old Susie walked up to her and said matter-of-factly, "You might as well stop scratching now. It won't make you feel any better." Carol looked down at her in open-mouthed astonishment and immediately stopped scratching her arm. Carol told Susie she was exactly right, fascinated by the grown-up sounding words coming out of Susie's mouth. Susie nodded with satisfaction and walked away, leaving Carol shaking her head in wonder. Carol told us about this past Monday when the Kagan trainer, Christy Brown, brought a handful of trainers into her classroom to observe Christy model coaching. Since Carol has known Christy for 8 years or so, she has taken nearly every class she has ever offered. She knew that Carol wouldn't have a problem with her coming into her room with so many observers. Carol's students were using quiz trade and find one who. This must be teacher language. Carol said the students performed amazingly well considering all of the adults watching them. As Christy was heading out the door, Carol told her she was retiring at the end of the year. Christy hugged Carol and said the district is losing one amazing teacher. Carol said she would be forever grateful to Christy for her kind words. A short while later, Carol invited Christy's entourage back to her classroom to hear Carol's students sing and sign the song with just one small voice. When the students were done, there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. Carol said that although kindergarten is now the new 1st grade and thinks maybe her global methods of teaching seem to be the way of the past, she realized her way of teaching still touched many hearts, and she was glad. Carol would like to extend her thanks and appreciation for the opportunity to teach young students to love learning. Thank you, Carol, for sharing your love of learning and touching the hearts of so many children through the years. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. Mike is completing his 40th year of teaching, having spent the... Yes. Having spent the last 23 years with our school district at Lathrop High School as a special education teacher. In asking Mike about his favorite memory, he very simply stated, "It was still working with kids every day. We have some great kids in Fairbanks." Mike is known as a man of few words and doesn't often like to talk about himself, but a couple of colleagues asked us to speak to his dedication to the students and families at Lathrop High School. They describe him as a gentle giant who loves whose love for kids and patience with them are unmatched and unwavering. His kind, constant, caring manner is much appreciated. He will be greatly missed at Lathrop. Mike, thank you for your commitment to our students and serving them and their families for the past 23 years. We really do hope you enjoy your retirement. Bobby has spent the last 24 years of her 27 years in education with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District. She is retiring as a general music teacher at Ladd Elementary School. Over the years, she has worked at Ryan Middle School as the band director and Fort Wainwright and Two Rivers as the general music teacher. Bobby told us one of her favorite memories was the time a staff member kidnapped a music superhero from her bulletin board. The superhero was then passed from person to person, instigating many Flat Stanley or Where in the World is Waldo type adventures. The adventures of missing superhero took on a life of its own, with the entire student body, including Bobby, waiting excitedly for the daily note and picture to appear to see where the latest adventure landed the superhero. Finally and triumphantly, the missing adventurous superhero returned to school safe and sound at the school's talent show. Bobby, thank you for enriching the lives of children, not only through your love of music, but through innovative activities that capture the attention and imagination of students. We hope your retirement is filled with many Where is Bobby moments and adventures. Congratulations.
Dixie has worked in education for 32 years, 25 of them in our district. She currently works as a student support specialist at North Pole Middle and North Pole High Schools. Her experiences over the past 25 years are vast and broad, including working in the School to Work program as an LD and ED classroom aide and as a math tutor. Dixie has several great memories, all of them involving student success, such as when she works with a student to help them graduate and they become the first member of his or her family to graduate from high school, or when a student who everyone wrote off graduates, or when she is working one-to-one with students who hate math and she sees the light bulb moment when they get it, and even better, they actually enjoy doing math. I could have used you as a teacher. These types of wonderful, rewarding student moments will always be cherished memories for Dixie. Dixie, thank you for your genuine love for students, believing in them and working with them to achieve their successes. You've been a great asset to our district. Congratulations on your retirement, and you too are a lucky winner of one of our door prizes. Dorothy is retiring from the Information Systems Department as a support technician, where she has worked for the past 3 years. Prior to coming to the Administrative Center, Dorothy worked at Denali, Pearl Creek, and Hunter Elementary Schools. She has worked with the district for 18 and a half years. Dorothy, like many others, has many wonderful memories. One of her most favorite memories during her time with the school district was the construction of the new Denali Elementary School. The staff at that time got together and made the decision to make sure the construction process was a positive experience for everyone involved. Staff members made the construction workers homemade cookies on a weekly basis. Teachers were invited to take their students on school tours during all the different phases of construction. In the end, not only did they have a beautiful new school, but the construction process had been a positive experience in which students and staff all took ownership in. It was an incredible learning opportunity for everyone involved. Dorothy's colleagues describe her as a person who lights up a room when she walks in, and she makes work fun. Dorothy, thank you for helping to take every opportunity, even a massive construction project, and turn it into a positive and fun learning experience for our students. Your warm and welcoming smile will be missed, and enjoy your retirement. Yeah. Beverly has worked for the school district for the past 22 and a half years. She is currently the day custodian at Denali Elementary School. During her time with the district, she has also worked in the central kitchen when it was on Eielson Air Force Base, as well as custodian at Anderson, Pennell, and Badger Elementary Schools. Beverly has many fond memories from the different places and positions she has worked in over the years. Beverly enjoyed the fast pace of the central kitchen, where she developed some lifelong friendships. Even to this day, they still do lunch and a movie whenever they can get together. Another highlight for her was being selected the ESP of the Month in 2010. It was such a nice surprise. Beverly feels the people at Denali Elementary are the greatest group of people to work with, and they have made... Clearly they are. And they have made it a pleasure for her to come to work each and every day. But probably her fondest memory and what she shares is what has kept her in the district for so long are the children and their happy faces, hugs, and eagerness to always help in any way they could. Beverly, thank you for helping students and staff maintain safe, clean, and welcoming schools for so many years. We wish you many more nice surprises in your retirement and lots of lunches with your friends. Congratulations. Rob retired from the school district in September 2012 as a physical education teacher after 22 years with the district. He started his career with the district at Fort Wainwright and Birch Elementary in 1990. He also taught at Badger, Tickasick Brown, Weller, North Pole Elementary, and Two Rivers. He spent his last 10 years at North Pole High School. Rob has many touching moments spanning his career. Seeing kids accomplish goals they didn't think they could was a highlight. At the beginning of fitness class, students set individual goals like weight loss or to increase strength and endurance. The excitement they had when they reached or surpassed their goal made it worthwhile. His project adventure classes were challenging and rewarding. The kids got to push themselves to great limits, especially in the climbing activities. There were tears of fear and tears of joy in those classes. The students would come together and solve problems too. In the gym, students from the different cliques had to work together. They learned to be teammates because of the interactions of the games. Some of the best moments for Rob happened when a student who didn't have strong athletic skills could finally catch the frisbee and make a goal in ultimate frisbee. But it was even better when he and she could get a round of applause from teammates for doing it. Rob recalls a sometimes common theme where students would say they hated running and hated PE, but then by the end of the semester they would get mad at him because they skipped a day of running. When Rob's elementary students asked him why he wasn't playing professional sports, he would always respond, "Because I'd rather be here with you." That literally brought tears to my eyes. It did. He got a kick out of explaining to parents in the grocery store why their child was hugging him. Teaching at Tickasick Brown Elementary and then at North Pole High School allowed Rob the privilege to watch many of the same students transition and grow up. When they reached high school and asked to play the same games they had played in elementary school, it gave Rob a chuckle. In closing out his career, Rob thought it was hard to say who learned more, him or the kids. Rob, thank you for your hard work in inspiring children to reach their goals and full potential, and for believing in their abilities when sometimes they didn't believe in them themselves. We hope you're enjoying your retirement.
Susan has worked in the school district for 23 years. During her tenure, she has taught first, second, third, and fourth grade students. For the past 4 years, she has served as a content coach with the curriculum department. When asked for a favorite memory, Susan said it was an impossible question to answer with just one memory, as there were so many. Such as the first snowfall of each year, which was always a magical time for students. Susan would take time for students to watch the flakes drift down and begin to pile up. Almost always, they would put on their gear and just play in the new snow. Likewise, in the spring, they took the opportunity as much as possible to hold outdoor school. Other wonderful memories she recalls include students performing as their favorite Fairbanks history character in the Wax Museum, Fort Knox field trips where the students got to hold a bar of gold, first graders during the Valentine's Day parties, amazing themselves that they could read the cards from their friends, selling root beer floats to earn money for field trips, students starting to believe in themselves as writers, teachers, parents, and colleagues who have become more than that, who have become family and lifelong friends, science fair projects that inspired budding scientists, readers, theater, poetry jams, authors' teas, the time when the fire alarm was pulled during an all-school beach day at 45 below, dancing at the Fiddlers Festival, going on a field trip on her due date, sharing in the journey that students make toward responsible citizenship, recommending books to students, and field trips to Howard Luke's campus. Susan feels enormously privileged to have shared in the everyday life of her students and the ups and downs over the course of each school year. Like every teacher for Susan, it has been the moments when students make connections that have been priceless. When her students were successful and proud, she was successful and proud. Susan shares that her last 4 years, as she has supported teachers in her role as a content coach, has increased her admiration for teachers. She will always treasure her time with the students and teachers in this district. Susan, thank you for your dedication and creative teaching to expand education and learning past the brick and mortar of classrooms and books. Your contributions to children and their academic success are priceless. Congratulations on your retirement. Sue is a reading facilitator at Ann Wien Elementary School. She has taught in the Fairbanks School District for 22 of her 36 years in education. She taught for 6 years at North Pole Elementary in grades 1 and 2 and has been at Ann Wien for the past 16 years teaching first grade and reading. Sue said her most inspiring moments in education are in the company of both parents and children. Facilitating growth and awareness of opportunity move everyone forward and upward. Their eyes tell it all: the surprise, pride, wonder, joy, and hope. There is no one profession so critical to the development of the individual, the community, and the world. Sue, thank you for helping children make their first connections to reading and opening up the world of learning to them. Congratulations and all the best on your retirement. Brenda will be retiring from teaching after 21 years with the school district. Her career in education spans a total of 42 years. "32 in education plus 10 years working with children through nonprofit organizations. Brenda currently teaches K-5 resource at Badger Road Elementary School. Previously, she was an intensive resource teacher at North Pole High School. The memory Brenda chose to share with us is a special one that spans 15 years. It involves the extraordinary gifts a young man shared with his fellow students and to Brenda. This student was an amazing young man who, when he arrived in Brenda's class at North Pole High School, was 17 years old, weighed all of 37 pounds, and was fed through a G-tube. Due to enormous complications at birth, this young man had not been expected to live. Brenda describes this young man's gifts as laughter. He loved to laugh with everyone. Another gift, his bright eyes. His eyes watched everything and everyone around him, and he really thought it was cool when he pulled the seeds out of the class's pumpkin, with a bit of help. The amazing young man taught the class and Brenda kindness, gentleness, acceptance, and of course, the joy of laughter. What a guy. Brenda still visits this young man at the Denali Center. He's now 32. Pretty awesome for a baby who was not expected to live. Brenda, thank you for sharing such a heartwarming memory. This young man's story reminds us all that no one knows what the future holds for any of us and that anything is possible. Thank you for your years of caring and compassion for children and teaching them about the true gifts of life. Congratulations on your retirement. Joan has worked in education for 25 years, with 19 of those years in the school district. Joan has worked in every high school in the district over the course of her employment. Some of the courses she has taught include biology, chem-tech, earth science, environmental science, and chemistry. She currently teaches 8th grade physical science, chem-tech, and chemistry at Ben Eielson Junior Senior High School. Joan, like many others this evening, does not have any single favorite memory that outweighs others. She feels she probably wouldn't have lasted 2 years in this career if she had not averaged at least one inspiring, memorable moment a month. Her favorite memories from her classroom have been when the learning light bulb has been turned on for an individual student who has struggled for weeks with a difficult concept. By using patience and persistence, they discovered that they could master abstract ideas. The others have been when a student who has struggled with life beyond the classroom has come to the realization that making the most of their education in the classroom was their ticket into a better world. Many of Joan's favorite memories extend way beyond the four walls of her classroom. Through the course of her career, she has been amazed by Broadway or Carnegie Hall quality musical and drama performances, nationally competitive ballroom dance routines, displays of art that have been hung in Washington's National Gallery of Art, and academic and athletic competitions that have challenged her students to achieve way beyond perceived mental and physical limits. Each of these moments has been the result of teamwork of dedicated teachers, parents, and community members who have inspired youth to go beyond what they thought was their personal limit to achieve excellence. These moments and the teachers, parents, community members, and students involved have inspired her to go through the tough days and focus on being a better teacher and better person. Joan said she will leave this career with many favorite memories, reminding her that she has had the privilege to be a part of a team of exceptionally talented, motivated individuals with the common goal of helping our youth develop their personal strengths and become successful adults. Joan extends many thanks to her coworkers, parents, and community members for their support and the joy of working with young adults in our community over the course of the past 19 years. Joan, your dedication to students and teaching is very much appreciated and admired. Thank you for helping students realize their light bulb moment in all aspects of learning and for helping students learn education does not stop when they leave the classroom and school. The best of luck in your retirement.
Katie is a third grade teacher at Katie is a third grade teacher at Denali Elementary School, retiring with 27 and a half years with the school district. Before becoming a teacher, Katie was a special education aide at West Valley High School. During her years of teaching, she has taught third grade at Pinnell Elementary, second grade at North Pole Elementary, and third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade at Arctic Light Elementary. One of Katie's favorite memories was when her 32 fourth graders won the school-wide tug-of-war contest at Arctic Light's Field Day. What a way to culminate an interesting and challenging school year. Another memory, although arguably perhaps not a favorite, was during her first year of teaching when she had to make her drive to North Pole Elementary in minus 57 below. The only way she was able to drive down the Richardson Highway was by following the fog line. The ice fog was horrible. Katie, we're so appreciative that you weren't scared off during your first year of teaching by the frigid cold temperatures and toughed it out. Thank you for all you have done for the students in our community, and congratulations on your retirement. Sherry teaches math at West Valley High School. She has worked in education for 25 years, 17 with our district. She has worked as a district-wide gifted education facilitator and a gifted and talented extended learning teacher at University Park, Hunter, Howard Luke, and Tickasick Brown. Sherry had a hard time choosing one favorite memory, having experienced so many through the years. However, she does recall a strange but effective disciplinary moment. She had a young man who qualified for her gifted program as a first grader. His behavior and attitude were a constant challenge. During conversations in class, classmates of this student frequently referred to the Veggie Tales videos, which this young man never watched. Oftentimes, the conversations ended with students singing the catchy Veggie Tales jingle. This drove the young man nuts. By the time he was in third grade, whenever he started acting out or disturbing the class, all Sherry had to say was, "Do you want me to sing Veggie Tales?" And he would stop his off-task behavior immediately. Sherry wishes all discipline were as easy as this. Sherry, thank you for your sense of humor and thinking outside the box in reaching out to students and making connections that make a big difference. Congratulations on your retirement. Pat is a sixth grade teacher who has served this district for 30 years. He holds quite an unusual distinction in this day and age of constant change. Pat has spent all 30 of his teaching career at Weller Elementary in the same grade and in the very same classroom. Wow. Pat said describing his favorite memory from his time in the district was a very difficult task. His entire career has been a joy, and he feels he was very fortunate to begin and end his career at Weller Elementary. Even though he has nothing else to compare it with, Pat believes he could not have ended up at a better school. He is indebted to Mark Schellinger for hiring him all those years ago. The staff, students, and parents have made Weller a wonderful place to teach for all these years. Pat said it was impossible for him to weed through all the great times and pick just one memory or event to share. But he does have some general feelings that will stay with him for the rest of his life. The joy he receives when former students return to say thank you is indescribable. There is absolutely nothing better than that. No rewards, honors, great evaluations, or praise from peers can compare to heartfelt thanks from a former student. Another great memory is Weller's tradition of having the buses circle around and around the parking lot on the last day of school when the teachers wave goodbye to the kids. He thinks that tradition is a little bit different for the 6th grade teachers because they won't be seeing their students again. He enjoys this event for a reason we may not expect. He likes it because he knows he has done the best job he could have to prepare his students for the crazy world of middle school. He feels confident they know what needs to be done to be successful, not only in 7th grade, but in life. He misses his students, but he knows they have the tools to be great. Pat, while our thanks to you on behalf of the children and families of our community pales in comparison to the thanks you receive directly from your students, please accept our heartfelt appreciation for a lifetime of tireless work helping students, guiding them through challenges, and preparing them for the next steps in their academic careers in life. You have been a constant presence at Weller and will leave a void in 6th grade that will be difficult to fill. We wish you all the best in your retirement. You have certainly earned it.
Thank you very much.
David has worked in education for 27 years. He has shared his talents with our district for the past 19 years as a general music teacher currently at Weller Elementary. In addition to Weller, David has worked as a general music teacher at Two Rivers, Arctic Light, Tickasick Brown, Ladd, and Denali Elementary Schools. David, through the years, has kept questions and comments he has received from students which he treasures. He is sharing a few of those with us tonight from the mouths of children. You got a haircut, but you still look like you a little bit. My aunt and uncle have a dog with only 3 legs. Its mom's vocal cord got wrapped around it and it came off. Do you have the CD for Amazing Grace? I'd like to play it for my turtle's funeral. One day in class, the students were singing a song about cats when David asked the class how long they thought people had cats. One little boy said, "My mom has had one for about 400 years. David said, "No way. His mom couldn't be that old." But the little boy said, "Yes, she is. She's a grandma now." One November, David was wearing a tie picturing harvested vegetables. A 1st grade girl came up to him and said she liked his tie. Her dad had one just like it, except his had girls on it. One student told David, "I know what hurt feels like. Someone dared me to jump, and I did." And one of his most favorite comments was from a 4th grade boy who asked David, "How old are you?" "If you're over 60, I think my grandma would like you." Oh, gosh. What a way to end the retiree recognition. David, thank you for sharing some of your treasured comments and questions with us this evening. But most of all, thank you for sharing your passion for music with our students. Your talent and beautiful voice has helped foster a love for music that will live on in students for years to come. Congratulations on your retirement, and may it be filled with many more treasured moments. On behalf of the Board of Education and the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District, we extend our most heartfelt thanks to the many professionals here, along with those who are unable to join us tonight, for your many, many years of dedication to the students and families of our community, and for making a difference for so many. And another round of applause for all the wonderful people.